our national anthem. You would have to pay close attention to the bottom left and right to really see the sneaky messages in the video. How many of them were you able to notice? Here's the list of the ones that I had been able to see after looking at the lyric transitions over and over. I had looked at this video multiple times and slowing it down. The list I found, the messages I've seen: trust the U.S. government, God is real, God is watching, believe in government God, rebellion is not tolerated, obey, consume, worship, consume, obey, believe. I even saw the word buy in there. That's really clever. I wouldn't even know how this had been done so long ago. I don't have the kind of tech to insert hidden messages like that. To all the really stubborn and reluctant people out there, this video is undeniable proof that the government and corporations associated with them have been brainwashing people for decades. They are very sneaky, and they control a lot of things. And I wasn't even born in the 60's. This has been going on for way longer than I have been alive. Than you have been, for you that's watching the video. Unless you were born in the 60's and are still alive. Wow. The reason why it's hard to see all of those messages on normal speed is because they would rather hypnotize you with these messages. Let your subconscious pick them up. This propaganda video is a form of mass hypnosis. If you were able to consciously see those, if people back in the 60's had been able to see them, then the government tyrants would be in trouble. That's why they have to be sneaky about it. That's why they choose to be sneaky. The TV exists as a tool to indoctrinate and distract you, while they decide what they'd like to do with us. What plans and agendas they've got planned for us, that they do it behind closed doors. You hardly ever hear the truth from news reporters. They are controlled by the tyrants. Do you know what all of those messages in the National Anthem video reminded me of? The movie They Live. Once, long before I first started researching, I got to see all of this movie on TV. The main character, John Nada, played by actor Roddy Piper, had been able to see the lies that were surrounding him and everyone else, using a pair of special X-ray sunglasses. This is a screenshot from the movie that I'm talking about, in which came out in the year 1988. If you have not seen this classic, then I highly recommend you do before the tyrants ban this movie everywhere. The reason why this John Carpenter film made it to the big screen is because most people back in the 80's wouldn't have known the movie was based on a lot of truth. They have already been convinced the mainstream propaganda they've been visually spoon-fed was the truth. People go to movie theaters to be entertained anyway. They go there for thrills, not to be informed. Every day there's propaganda. Every day the psychological warfare stuff is going on. The news reports on violence, oppression against protesters, and mass shootings. That's all part of the brainwashing. As long as the majority of the population of people in the world are kept busy, being entertained, going to work, going to school, and fighting amongst themselves, the tyrants will keep doing really wrong things that they like to do. They will get away with it. Humanity will continue to self-destruct as long as the collective herd of them continues to remain passive, unaware, and collaborate and comply with what they've got going on, what they've got lined up. To live, to obey, is not freedom. That's the opposite. People who don't know they're slaves make good slaves. The tyrants conditioned so many for so freaking long. The brainwashed are willing contenders in this big, power-mad game that they're playing. They're all about having complete control over everybody. All the commoners. Having them conforming to groups and respecting authority that doesn't really care. What they say on the TV are lies. A recent speech that I saw from Officer Brown, the chief of police from Dallas, and Obama, lies, lies, lies. Hey, Chief David Brown. If you want to have people stand as one and do what's right, you can start by getting rid of the bomb robots. Using a robot to blow someone up could have been avoided. You could have had a robot to gas the dangerous suspect and knock him out. That was almost cute, by the way, when you were talking about reciting 70s R&B lyrics like poetry to earn some dates. You know what? I don't believe you're a genuine person, Officer Brown. I don't believe that you're about helping people become better people. Are you too blind to actually believe Obama, to believe his lies? There's a reason why I call him the Whopper King. He is horrible. He's one of a bunch of these mass deceivers. Hillary Clinton is a mass deceiver too, and she might be the next president since the FBI bends laws and blurs justice to let her get away with her crimes. The Whopper King and his silvery forked tongue. He sure does like to wag it. He likes to wag that tongue a lot in very long-winded speeches. And he sure does love to pretend to be a Christian. He says, let's open our hearts. But what about our minds? He doesn't seem to want that. Tyrants don't want free thinkers. They've been targeting conservatives, oppressing conservatives, and anyone that's standing in their way, they're trying to get rid of. People in government see themselves as God. Believe in government's God is one of those propaganda messages from the video. We all know how that would go down. We've seen the plots of man attempting to play God taking place in movies and TV shows. For example, Death Note. That's a very good example. I actually have seen most of the anime and I've read the manga, and like Yagami in this fandom, this very popular fandom, he, with this supernatural killer notebook, he plays God with it. And that guy goes crazy. So that national anthem video is one piece of unmistakable proof of mass deception. I haven't looked deeply into any impressive history on technology from the early times yet, but I am curious. I am curious to find out how the government has used earlier technology to spread their hidden messages. The people who are being brainwashed don't know they're being brainwashed. It's a subconscious thing. I intend to know more and more about how the shadowy oppressors operate. I have more proof and findings to share about the mass deception. I'll be doing the next part for my new series towards the more skeptical, I titled Your Journey to True Freedom. I'll leave you the link to the video where I got the national anthem video from. It's very good. When he talks about the word government itself, you'll be surprised. I'll also leave some other links for you to check out. Subscribe if you like, and please comment. I would be interested to hear from you. If some of you choose not to believe certain things or everything in this video, here's a quotation for you. There is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. Herbert Spencer. I'll yak at you all again soon. Be safe and stay true to yourselves. Open your minds, not just your hearts.